3 years. That's all it takes for some people to go from brand new appliance to calling a repair technician. One day your washing machine is running quietly in the background, and the next day it's shaking across the floor, flashing an error code, or refusing to spin at all. You stand there thinking, "Didn't I just buy this?" Here's the uncomfortable reality. Most modern washing machines are designed to last much longer, often close to a decade or more. But in real homes, under real usage, many don't make it that far. Not because they were built to fail in exactly 3 years, and not because every manufacturer is secretly planning their death, but because a mix of design choices, daily habits, and hidden stress slowly wear them down. Let's start with the biggest silent killer: overloading. A washing machine looks bigger than it really is. The drum feels spacious, especially when it's empty, so it's tempting to keep adding just one more towel or just one more hoodie. But every extra item adds weight, and that weight doesn't just sit there peacefully. During the spin cycle, the drum rotates at extremely high speeds. When it's overloaded, the motor works harder, the suspension stretches further, and the bearings absorb more force than they were designed to handle. That's when you see the machine shaking violently or hear loud banging during spin. What feels like normal heavy washing is actually long-term mechanical stress. Over time, suspension rods weaken, bearings wear out. The drum can even start to wobble slightly, something you might not notice at first. But once bearings go bad, the repair can cost almost as much as a new machine. And here's the part most people don't realize. Even if the machine survives each individual heavy wash, the damage builds slowly. It's not one giant overload that kills it, it's hundreds of small ones. Then there's detergent. More soap does not mean cleaner clothes. In fact, too much detergent is one of the fastest ways to shorten a washer's life. Modern, high-efficiency machines are designed to use very little water. When you pour in extra detergent, especially concentrated formulas, it creates excessive suds. Those suds don't fully rinse away. Instead, they leave behind a sticky residue inside the drum, in the hoses, and around the rubber door seal. Over time, that buildup thickens. It traps lint, dirt, and moisture. That's when people start noticing musty smells. But the smell is just the surface issue. That residue can clog the drain pump, strain the internal water flow, and coat components that are supposed to move freely. The pump works harder. The sensors get confused by foam levels. The rubber gasket begins to deteriorate from constant chemical exposure. Again, nothing dramatic at first, just slow, invisible wear. Now add another layer: how modern machines are built. Older washing machines were often heavier, simpler, and more mechanical. Today's machines are lighter, more efficient, and packed with technology. That's not automatically bad. Efficiency saves water and energy. But to reduce cost and weight, many internal components use lighter materials. Plastic tubs, composite parts, thinner structural elements. They're engineered to meet performance targets, but they don't always tolerate abuse the way older machines did. At the same time, today's washers are full of electronics. Digital control boards, touch panels, smart sensors, sometimes even Wi-Fi modules. These components are precise and sensitive. They don't like moisture. They don't like voltage spikes. They don't like unstable power supply. If you live somewhere with frequent power fluctuations and you're not using proper surge protection, that control board is at risk every single day. And when a main board fails, the machine can look completely dead, even if the mechanical parts are still fine. So when someone says, "My washing machine only lasted 3 years," it's usually not one dramatic explosion or one catastrophic mistake. It's gradual strain. It's overloading combined with over-soaping. It's modern materials combined with heavy real-world use. It's electronics exposed to unstable power. It's small habits repeated hundreds of times. And we haven't even talked about maintenance yet. because most people never think about maintaining a washing machine. To them, it's a box that cleans clothes. You put laundry in, press a button, and walk away. But inside that box, soap scum builds up. Hard water leaves mineral deposits. Filters slowly collect debris. The drain pump catches lint, coins, and small objects that slip through pockets. If no one ever cleans the filter, if no one ever runs a hot maintenance cycle, if no one ever wipes the rubber seal dry, the machine ages faster than expected, and by the time you hear that grinding noise or see that persistent error code, the damage has already been building for months, sometimes years. 3 years doesn't feel like enough, but when you look closely at what modern machines endure inside real homes, it starts to make more sense. Now let's talk about the damage you don't see. One of the most common reasons a washer fails early has nothing to do with the brand and everything to do with balance. Washing a single heavy blanket, a thick rug, or a pair of soaked jeans with lighter clothes creates an uneven load inside the drum. When the spin cycle begins, that imbalance turns into violent force. The machine tries to correct itself, shifting weight rapidly from side to side. You might notice the washer walking slightly. Maybe it makes a loud thud once or twice, then it finishes the cycle and seems fine. But internally, that shaking is brutal. Suspension components stretch, shock absorbers weaken, bearings experience uneven pressure. The machine is engineered to handle balanced rotation, not repeated off-center spinning at high speed. Do this enough times and you shorten its life dramatically. Then there are the small objects people forget about. Coins, keys, screws, bra wires, even tiny stones from pockets. These items can slip between the inner drum and outer tub. Some end up in the drain pump. Others scrape along the interior, damaging surfaces or seals. A single coin lodged in the wrong place can destroy a pump motor. And when the pump fails, the washer won't drain, which means it won't spin, which makes it look like a major breakdown. Sometimes the repair bill shocks people more than the failure itself. Another quiet problem is hard water. In many areas, the water supply contains high mineral content. Over time, minerals build up on heating elements, inside hoses, and along internal surfaces. This limescale layer restricts water flow and forces components to work harder. Heating elements take longer to warm water. Pumps push against resistance. Sensors read inconsistent levels. Again, it's not instant destruction. It's slow stress, month after month. Maintenance could prevent much of this, but most households never think of a washing machine as something that needs care. They don't run cleaning cycles. They don't inspect the drain filter. They don't level the machine properly when installing it. Leveling sounds minor, but it matters. If the washer isn't perfectly balanced on the floor, every spin cycle introduces slight instability. That instability multiplies over hundreds of washes. What could have been a small adjustment during setup becomes long-term wear. There's also the reality of modern design priorities. Today's appliances are built to meet efficiency standards. They use less water. They spin faster to extract more moisture. They rely on software to manage cycles. All of this improves performance and lowers utility bills, but it also means tighter tolerances and more reliance on sensitive components. When something goes wrong in an older mechanical washer, it might be a belt or a simple switch. In a modern machine, a small electronic fault can disable the entire system. And control boards are expensive. Sometimes so expensive that replacing them doesn't make financial sense compared to buying a new unit. That's when people say, "It's only 3 years old, how can it be done?" The answer usually isn't a single dramatic flaw. It's accumulated stress from daily life. Overloading once a week, using extra detergent for extra clean, skipping maintenance washes, ignoring early warning noises, running the machine during voltage spikes, washing unbalanced heavy items alone. Each habit seems harmless in isolation. Together, they slowly reduce lifespan. The truth is, most washing machines are capable of lasting well beyond 3 years. Many reach 8, 10, even 12 years with proper care. But they are not indestructible. They are engineered systems designed within cost and efficiency limits. Treat them gently and they last. Treat them like industrial machines, packed to the brim, over-soaped, unmaintained, and they wear out far sooner than expected. So if your washer is approaching its 3rd year, the real question isn't whether it was designed to fail. It's whether the daily habits inside your home are quietly pushing it toward failure. Because in most cases, the machine doesn't suddenly die. It slowly gives up, one overloaded cycle at a time.